You are listening to Booming Your Bottom Line, arguably the #1 small business podcast for owners who want to reach aging baby boomer consumers, create amazing customer experiences, and grow their companies in the process. Hosted by veterans of the aging boomer niche, Mark Hager and Aaron Murphy. These two are your experts to help you navigate the silver tsunami and dominate your local market. In the next few minutes, you are guaranteed insight, tips, and actionable information to help drive your company to even greater success. Get ready to supercharge your business.
Welcome to Booming Your Bottom Line, a weekly podcast where we talk about how to start and grow or expand your existing small business by serving the needs of the aging boomer consumer. Boomers are turning 65 at a rate of 10,000 people every day. And this demographic is poised to revolutionize small business if you're savvy enough to learn to serve them and do it well. We're here to help you understand how to do that. I'm Aaron Murphy, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Mark Hager. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Aaron. How are you today?
Fantastic. I'm good.
Good.
Hey, this week we're continuing on with our focus on being a caregiver-friendly business and really digging into what that means. We had to break this one into segments because it's such a valuable opportunity for the small business owner, and there's so much great information you need to know. But it does build on the last one, so if you missed last week, go back and listen to podcast number 19 in a separate tab browser, and then come back and pick this one up. They do build on each other. So we talked a lot about the real opportunity for this segment, the caregiver, last week. 52 million people are caregiving in the U.S. alone right now, and that's only going to grow. We talked a little bit about their needs, how they're different, and how you can help. Today, we're going to put that conversation in perspective related to the previous discussion. So again, go get the episode 19 first. We got a lot to cover today, so why don't we jump right in, Mark?
All right. So we're going to talk about some of the specifics you need to know, some of the real insights, the things that you're going to need to do, action items, if you will, so you can have an advantage and you can get a foothold and in with these important and potentially lucrative customers, the caregivers. So what do? Well, one, you need to simplify the process of working or buying from you. You know, if someone who is very busy is going to do business with you, multitasking continuously like pretty much all caregivers do, it should be easy for them. Easy to navigate, intuitive, and quick. And in reality, it's the old round peg in a square hole problem. Meaning, in the old way of doing business, companies require customers to fit into their processes instead of building processes around them that focuses on making the customer's experience exceptional. Now, I don't think I need to try and speak for consumers to prove this point. Just visit any online forum or company website that allows comments or ratings, or even Google business pages. Customers are very open about their opinions about stuff like this. If you do your homework and you go do some research, you'll see that customers get frustrated with business processes. And if you want to keep caregiving customers and get their referrals, which is very important to this effort, don't make it painful for them. You absolutely have to be able to make it easier on them for them to do business with you. So what I would recommend is you try to take a look, through your caregiver customer's eyes at the processes that you use as a business. Try to find stumbling blocks that are in their way or things that are making it difficult for them to do business with you, and ultimately for them to give you their money.
Right. Yeah. And the second thing we think you need to take a look at is managing prices. You need to really kind of fine-tune that, tighten the reins, and be very conscious about pricing. The truth is that many people take money out of their own pockets in this caregiving scenario to help a family member. We mentioned last week, statistically, it's about $6,000 a year on average, okay? So they're helping manage their loved one's finances. So price matters. It really does matter. I'm not going to say it's more important than anything else, but price is very important, okay? It's especially true in the coming years where the competition in your area is going to get larger. I just saw on LinkedIn this morning, Samsung's going to get into the the My Lively and,
Yep.
and some of that product stuff. No big surprise. Here come the big boys, right? Okay, so as your industry gets larger and the margins are inevitably going to get tighter, okay, that competition's on its way. And the chances are you're going to have to compete on price at some time, whether you want to or not. Maybe not completely, but absolutely at least partially. So some business models would argue that you never want to do that, but you need to think about it right now as a truth and a possibility. By being at least competitive on a price structure, you're going to cater to their sense of value, especially if on top of that you're providing amazing customer experiences, something we've talked a lot about in previous podcasts. And don't ever lose sight of that. You may also want to think about ways to give discounts to caregivers or creative ways to integrate things into that daily flow of your business. Maybe a loyalty program for them. Just you start thinking outside the box. You have to look different, and you have to find your edge.
Right. Good point. So the next thing we want to talk about is reducing stress, and their stress, not your stress. This is probably the biggest opportunity for you, and everything else in your list of caregiver-friendly initiatives will probably contribute to this, as it should. Remember, we're talking about people with families, jobs, responsibilities, social lives, and dreams and aspirations of their own, just like you. Put yourself in their shoes. If you had to take on their role as a caregiver starting tomorrow, what would you want? They also have the responsibility of helping care for someone on top of all of these other things, so that responsibility trumps everything else in their life to a degree. And there's not any opportunity for them to delay it. There's not a chance to redo it. And there's zero ability for them to procrastinate. It's right here, right now. And this is where knowing everything you can about what they're going through comes into play. And this is imperative. It's so important that you can relate to them, because your knowledge of them, your ability to relate to them and have empathy and be able to cater to them through that empathy, that leads to trust and rapport. It doesn't matter what service or product you offer. If you provide it in a way that makes them have to think less, do less, or worry less, and you do it well from a customer's perspective, you are going to win. And of course, so will they. And that's really the point. Make it win for them first, and your small business is going to win as a result. So if you can help them reduce their stress, you're going to be their hero. And they need that. And they'll come back for more, and they're going to tell their friends about it. And that's awesome.
Absolutely. Now, there's another thing we want you to look at. We want you to keep things organized. By keeping on top of those overwhelmed caregiver clients of yours, if you're staying ahead of the curve and you're thinking proactively and preemptively, instead of waiting for somebody like a caregiver who is already short on time and short on sleep and short on patience,
yeah, exactly.
Get ahead of them. Think like they think, so that you can be solving the problem before there's a problem. Like Mark said, you're going to be their hero. And in my mind, at a deeper, more honest level, you should be someone that they actually see they could lean on. You need to be their partner in caring for their loved one. And it needs to be a sincere and an empathetic partner, okay? Slow down. Make time for them. It costs less to retain a customer than to find a new one. You all know that if you read Business 101. So keep that person in your store or your office. Make time for them. Be there for them, okay? Your company needs to earn that level of trust, your staff, so that client never has to wonder if, they're going to be taken care of when they're working with you, or if their parents are being taken care of while they're at work, if you do that kind of service, okay? Care. That's it. Combining these things and some other initiatives like we've discussed can help you position your company as a caregiver-friendly business. That's what we're talking about right now. and somebody that's specifically sensitive to their unique needs. This is what's going to help you tap into that growing caregiver market, those 52 million people and growing, and get that competitive edge over your competition through caring, trust, and rapport.
Exactly. So, one comment about what you just said in terms of being a partner. This is a conversation I've had with a lot of business owners. It's easy from a in-home caregiver perspective or an elder law attorney perspective, someone who's dealing with intimate details of a person's care. It's easy for them to understand the idea of being a partner. Yeah. However, there are a lot of business owners that I've talked to who were in remodeling or other maybe home services of some kind that didn't deal specifically with care or finances, that seem to have a little bit more trouble wrapping their head around it. And I just want to real quickly revisit, the idea that every small business owner is part of the local network of care. And we're not talking about healthcare. We've talked about this before in previous podcasts, that the success that a community is going to have in supporting the needs of their older citizens is going to be directly tied to how well business owners step up and start meeting the needs in their communities. Yeah. And I think that a business owner really needs to think about that a little bit, to understand that it does not matter if you are putting in a grab bar or mowing the lawn or emptying the gutters or driving someone somewhere or providing personal care for them in their home or delivering their groceries. You are all part of that local network of care. You are someone that they are going to have to lean on, So you are a partner, whether it's with the caregiver, a family caregiver, or with that person themselves. You are there to help make their lives better, and you get paid for that.
Correct.
So anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox there. But so, and that actually, brings up a good point about caregivers. We can't forget about long-distance caregivers. This is a huge sub-segment of this segment. It's a good chunk of the population, and we all know that families move apart, whether for work or to be near other family members, whatever the reason is. And then from afar, the need for them to provide care for someone arises. It's not like they can just pick up and leave all the time. So here is where it could get interesting, for the lack of a better word, for local businesses, especially if you are near a retirement hub. A retirement hub often means that you have a lot of older people that don't have family nearby. Of course, that exists in any city, but if you have a lot of people who are retiring in a certain area, say, Sun City, Arizona, then you've got a lot of people there who don't have family near. Yep. Their family is in other places, which means these adult children who are not there to provide that care can't do everything that they would be able to do if they were there. And that is a huge opportunity for a local business. Being able to serve this part of the market, it takes some additional effort beyond, some of the other things that we've talked about. It's going to require you letting these long-distance caregivers know that you are sensitive to their needs and that you're trustworthy. That happens in your marketing, but also in your actions as word gets around. It'll also mean that you're going to have to be able to support them properly. And here are some specific examples of how you could do that. One, having good communication and being flexible with that communication. It's one thing to have a customer that's right there in your community, but something else to have a customer who's 1,000 miles away. Mm-hmm. Being able to be flexible in the use of your phone and emails and texts, whatever they prefer and whatever you can feasibly do. Prompt, courteous, and knowledgeable, helpful communication. It also doing what you say you're going to do. Building that trust, getting the job done right and on time and on budget every single time.
Sure.
Going the extra mile, making an effort to wow them, means something different if they're not physically there to see the results. and letting them know through your actions that you're taking care of them is personal for you. You take it very seriously. And then, educating and informing them. And we've talked time and time again about educating your customers, but now you've got a different type of customer because they're far away, but they're still just as worried. They're still just as concerned. They still want the best. So, as with other caregivers, this is new to them. And if you are guiding them and helping them stay up on what's happening with their loved one, even if, and I know some people are going to cringe at me saying this, but even if it's not your job to do that.
Yeah.
Even if you're the guy who's in there putting the grab bar in, or in there mowing the lawn or delivering something, and you notice something that's going on, you picking up that phone and say, hey, I noticed your mom is X, Y, or Z. That goes miles towards your relationship with that long-distance caregiver.
Totally. Yeah, very true. All good points. We're not saying that all this is easy. We're just letting you know there's a ton of potential here. And dealing with a third party can be challenging at times, especially in highly emotional situations like parental care and family matters. But if you can market your company as somebody that is, age friendly and they are well versed in, third party and long distance and remote caregiving, and then you go on and perform and put your, money where your mouth is and actually do what you say you'll do, go the extra mile, you're going to see your business change for the better, and you're going to find yourself growing in the next couple decades.
Right.
Okay. So as you've seen over the last episode and this one in our podcast series, there's a lot of family caregivers. Okay. I said it a couple times already this episode, 52 million and growing. What do you think is going to happen after you've been there for them as they've cared for an aging loved one? Okay, let's talk about that 40 plus female. That's just an average. I'm not stereotyping. Do you think that they'll drop you like a bad habit? Now, maybe. I mean, attrition does happen, but in this demographic, it's not like the Gen X, Gen Y, well, at least not Gen Y and millennials. There's a tendency toward loyalty still for most 40 plus. So I think you can get a better outcome than attrition. We have a massive idea at this point, and we want you to seriously consider this. Okay, I want you to noodle on it, spend some time, just let it mull around. What if by serving these caregivers, you're actually able to do something for somebody that is truly future-proofing your company? Okay, what if you're already building your tomorrow business while you're doing your work today? If I pointed out that what we're about to say would create a legacy for your company and maybe even make it a sellable entity that you could retire on, would you hear me out? I think you would. So take care of that 40 plus person, okay? If you're providing a great service to them and their loved one and a great personal client experience by working with your business, there's a chance that you're going to get business from them through referrals and well into the future.
Yep.
Now go 10, 15, 20 years down the road, okay? Think longer term, just like you should when you go the extra mile today at your business. Think longer term. What's going to happen when they hit 60 or 65 instead of 45? And somebody they know, or maybe they have a change in their lifestyle. Who do you think they might tell their kids or their caregiver about? You. Okay?
Absolutely.
Bingo. There it is. There's the light bulb. Your business could be coming up for people now through referrals and 10 and 20 years from now through the same referrals. That's why you take the time. That's why you build trust and rapport. I don't know a business owner who doesn't think part of their exit strategy is to, sell a business that has value as part of, retirement.
Yep.
Okay. So having built that kind of pipeline can make all the difference in the world in how your company gets valued, right? So think long term as you act today. get outside your comfort zone, go the extra mile. And if you're not doing some of these things, make some edits to the systems that you've got going on. Okay. The moral of the family caregiver story is this: by rethinking how you provide service for this type of customer now and creating an experience that enables them to accomplish their caregiving goals, you're helping you build your business future and growth now and for decades.
Yeah, and as a business owner, that is a fantastic situation to be in too.
Right.
I mean, that's incredible. Okay, so I think we're going to stop here for today. We really appreciate you all listening. Please visit our website at ageandplace.com/smallbusiness, and make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter there. We've got lots of tips that we send out that we don't get to in the podcast. If you have any questions, topics for Aaron and I to cover on the podcast, or you're interested in working with Aaron and I to help grow your business and your service to your community and to aging boomers, just get in touch with us. Send us an email at smallbusiness@ageandplace.com and we'll schedule a call. Now, if you appreciate what we're doing, please share the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. It only takes a minute, and it will help us reach even more small business owners and help them in their own communities. Thanks again for being here. Have a great week. Be well, be blessed, and boom your bottom line.
Bye, everybody.
If you would like to work with Mark and Aaron, have any questions about the show, or have a topic you would like them to cover that would help your business, please send an email to smallbusiness@ageandplace.com or call 865-236-1247. You will find the podcast archive, articles, and more to help you as you build your company at ageandplace.com/smallbusiness. Booming Your Bottom Line is a joint venture of ageandplace.com and Empowering the Mature Mind.